All right, guys. Happy Monday. Hopefully, you guys are having a good day. Sunday, just another lovely MLB Sunday. Full transparency, I was playing in a golf scramble, so I didn't pay attention to anything. I kind of had to get caught up on what was going on late last night. So, wasn't good. Getting to the recap, we got absolutely pooped on. 3.6 units down. Mariners first five minus a half. Both of our first five plays were just brutal. We got beat in the bottom of the fifth in both of those. So Mariners were up, lost it in the bottom of the fifth. Red Sox were up, lost it in the bottom of the fifth. So GG on those. Twins only won by 1 run. And Kansas City didn't get their 2 runs until the 6th and the 7th inning. And the Yankees just got absolutely smoked. Like, what in the... What? 21 hits? What the hell, man? That was wild. That's like some Sunday stuff for you right there. So is what it is there. Seattle ended up losing to a rookie who came up from Double-A, like pitched pretty good. They just didn't hit. So we saw the sticks go cold again for the Mariners. Let's see, Red Sox ended up losing on a 3-run homer. Braves ended up losing in the 11th inning. Nats got absolutely smoked. That was just a bad pick on my part. Cubbies stayed hot, scored like 14 off of them. So that was on me. Let's see, Pirates lost. And the Giants lost to the World Series champions Marlins, man. Just make every day a getaway day, and the Marlins are just, they're built different, man. They're built different. Now, of course, I'll probably take them next getaway day, and they're going to lose. So hopefully not. But Diamondbacks ended up absolutely thumping the Dodgers. So good one there. Let's see. Prop leans. We did okay. Went 3-2. Corbin Carroll over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs was easy. He ended up having 4 HRRs. Witt hit a home run, so took care of that. Criswell under 2.5 earned runs was sweat free. He went 4 innings of no earned runs. Alex Cobb was throwing a freaking perfect game going into the 7th inning. What the shit? He was throwing a perfect game. Rodriguez over 2.5 earned runs. No, I don't. He didn't give up any, but he only threw 3 innings, so a little unlucky there. He only threw like 40, 50 pitches. So GG. Nerfies, we went a perfect 3-0. So we're having a lot of success on the Nerfies over the past week or so. So nice to see. And then the 2 leans we were kind of looking at, Astros first 5, Mets and White Sox first 5 under. That was pretty sweat free. Mets only won 2-0. Our college football pick, LSU. I mean, what kind of plays are we calling, man? That was some real bad play calling, but it is what it is. Ended up going under by a ton, and LSU lost. So it is what it is. So, all right, hot and cold matchups. We'll jump right into that. This is going to be a short video. I'm hungover. I'm not going to lie. But the research is still just as solid as it always is. But, man, don't feel great today. All right, Freddie Peralta has some folks on the Cardinals that are hitting pretty well off of him. Flaherty has a couple. Eugenio Suarez has just been on absolute fire lately. He is just hitting the cover off the baseball. But I've seen Suarez enough when he was with the Reds. He goes through these hot streaks, and then he will go ice cold. So just kind of waiting for that shoe to drop with him. Corbin Carroll, we already talked about. Jock Peterson, guys are hitting the ball really well. They have some success off of Flaherty. A couple guys off of the Dodgers that have some success off of Eduardo Rodriguez, so Teoscar Hernandez and Freddie Freeman. Let's see, a couple guys on the Rangers that have had okay success against Garrett Cole. But if we look at cold batter matchups, a lot more cold batter matchups. So we see some good matchups for Peralta here. 4 guys that are kind of cold against him. A couple guys that are cold against Rodriguez. Gilbert's got 3. Jameson Taillon has 3 players on the Pirates that are pretty cold against him. Hot pitcher matchups. Logan Gilbert against the A's. Not hitting well off of him. Only hitting 141. Jameson Taillon against the Pirates. Pirates only hitting 180 off of him, which he did just face them, I believe, in his last outing. So we'll kind of talk about that. Cold pitcher matchups, Flaherty against the Dodgers, or against the Diamondbacks, so they are hitting 256 off of him. And then Rodriguez on the flip side against the Dodgers, they're hitting 308 on him. So if you look at 2 pitchers that both kind of have bad track records, that should equal some runs. So that's kind of where I'm at. Bullpen review, I didn't really see anything today. Nothing that really stood out to me personally that would be of value to talk about. Bullpens are okay. They're not. Some of these bullpens aren't great, but nothing too dire there. All right, standings. Orioles. Orioles are in a beautiful spot here, but so are the Yankees. So the Yankees are playing a series against the Rangers. Orioles have the White Sox. So Orioles are only a half game back of overtaking the Yankees in the AL East. So those are two really big series that we're going to have to watch. Pretty impactful there. If we look at the Central, we've got a very important matchup between the Royals and the Guardians. We saw this last week in Cleveland, and the Royals absolutely dominated them. They took, I believe, 3 out of 4. So this will be a very key series in Kansas City. Let's see, what else we got? Astros playing the Reds, starting a series there, so should work out real well for them. The Mariners kind of clinging in the wild card race, but I don't know. Sticks are starting to go cold again, so they might be out of it by week's end. The Mets are only 1 game back of the wild card, so they've got a lot to play for in their series here against Boston. So it should be a very interesting series. Likewise, Boston has a lot to play for. If we look at the Braves, really just playing for a wild card spot at this time. I mean, they're 7 games back. They'd really have to hope that the Phillies just kind of imploded. Couple of losses in that series were huge. We look at the Cubbies. Cubbies are on fire. Only 3 games out of the wild card, so they're definitely in striking distance. Cardinals 5 games back with 25 left, so they got to go on an absolute tear. So this Brewers series is extremely important to them. Not for the Central, they're out of that, but for the wild card. NL West, we've got Dodgers and Diamondbacks playing, so very important game today. Could get them 4 back, so they're still potentially within striking distance of winning the West, and just making sure that they keep this 3-game wild card lead kind of out there. And then the Giants are just kind of clinging for life there. 6.5 games. Yeah, I don't like it. They start their series tomorrow, I believe, against the Diamondbacks. So Giants are probably going to be out of this thing by week's end, most likely. All right, let's get into the slate of games here. 11 games. First game on the card, Cardinals and the Brewers. Andre Pallante going up against Freddie Peralta. I don't like this line. This minus 175 is a bit much for me. I would say I would take the Cardinals just strictly from a value perspective. Plus 145 against a team that is playing really well, 6-4 in their last 10. Just finding ways to win. We saw them win the last series against the Brewers. So really, this is going to be Peralta's 4th game pitching against the Cardinals. I mean, that's a lot of games. And he's gone 0-3 and 0 earned runs in the previous 3. Peralta, just a guy I like to fade sometimes, and I could see this being a fade spot. 4th game, Yankees, they're coming off a Yankees game, the Cardinals are, where they just absolutely trounced them. Now there is travel involved, but, man, all the momentum is really, in my opinion, kind of on the Cardinals side. We saw the Brewers struggle to really take down Cincinnati. 2 of the games went into extra innings, so obviously they're traveling back home as well, so they don't have the travel or the rest advantage. We saw this bullpen had some issues with being kind of taxed. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But to me, there's just way too much value to take the Cardinals. This should be more, I would almost say like a minus 130 for the Brewers, I think would be appropriate here. Pallante has been really good. Pallante's only given up 6 earned runs over his last 4 starts, and he's faced some very good teams. Faced the Padres, the Twins, the Dodgers, and the Royals. So I like where he's at there. If we look at Peralta, like I said, this will be his 4th game pitching against the Cardinals. So in the first 3, he went 17 innings, 15 hits, 17 Ks, 5 base on balls. So they are still hitting him. His whip is still, over 1. So like I said, just too much value here to not take the Cardinals. Do I play it? Yeah, we'll have it in the upset, but that's about it. All right, next game. I mean, not a lot to talk about here. I didn't put a ton of notes. Corbin Burns, we know he's been struggling. He has been absolutely struggling, giving up a ton of runs. Do I think the White Sox beat them? No. I mean, I don't think this is the team that beats Corbin Burns. Chris Flexen is just horrendous at home. He's 2-13. He just gets absolutely smoked. So I don't have a play in this. Maybe in our we have one play, I guess, in our fun parlay, but there's just minus 395. It's crazy. It's certainly worth taking a flyer on the White Sox at plus 310. Like throwing a half a unit on the White Sox and just see if it hits, I guess. But even then, I mean, you're just kind of burning money. It's just better you just avoid that game. It's just way too high. It's a pass for me. All right, Dodgers, Diamondbacks. Flaherty, Eduardo Rodriguez. Look at Rodriguez. He's only got 4 games under his belt this season. He's given up 12 earned runs. His last start versus the Mets, he gave up 5 hits, 5 earned runs. This guy's going to go 4 or 5 innings. He does give up some walks. He's not a high K guy. We look at Flaherty. He's kind of been, I mean, he hasn't been pitching lights out since he joined the Dodgers. He did face the D-backs earlier this year. Went 6 innings, 5 hits, 9 Ks, 2 earned runs. Over his career, he's got a 4.41 career ERA against them. His last couple starts, he's given up 11 earned runs. So I do think he gives up some runs today. I don't think he gets shelled. The pitch splits are not great for him. But that said, I've just loved playing the zigzag in this series. So it kind of falls underneath the play the zigzag, and when teams lose by that much, I always just play them the next day. And we saw that yesterday with the Twins. They ended up winning after getting crushed. So just kind of repeating that zigzag pattern here. But we'll have to see who the Dodgers sit or the Diamondbacks sit. I think the lineup's going to be very important there. So might want to wait to get a bet in until you get confirmed lineups there, see who's sitting. All right, Guardians, Royals, huge series here for both teams. We've got Gavin Williams going up against Michael Wacha. I think this is a straight minus 110 now, so it's minus 110, minus 110. If we look at Gavin Williams, he did face this team fairly recently on the 27th of August, so his last start went 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. We look at Wacha, faced 828. These lines are a little misleading. 6 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned, 7 Ks. He was absolutely dominant through 5 innings. They left him out there a little too long, which the Royals tend to do. And he got absolutely lit up in that 6th inning of work. So these numbers are a little skewed. He was absolutely dominating Cleveland at home last time. All right, Wacha, 3 or less earned runs in his last 9 home starts. So he has been pretty good at home. That said, I do think there are runs scored. We got the wind blowing in. I want to say this over has dropped to 8, which I do like 8. So if I'll probably go back in after this. If it's still 8, I might take it. I don't love that the wind's blowing in, but I see runs being scored by both teams. We do have a bet in this, but I may also do like an over-under later today or something. Again, want to see confirmed lineup, but can't see these teams not going hard given the gravity of the situation here. Look at the pitch splits, not great for Gavin Williams. Royals are 4th and 7th and 8th in some of the pitches he throws over the past 30 days. For Wacha, it's really just the fastball. Cleveland 8th in the fastball, but we just haven't seen this team hit a ton. That said, we didn't see the Royals hit at all in the Astros series, so they do have a tendency to go cold with the sticks. That said, Cleveland's been pretty cold as well, so I think that's why we're seeing an 8.5 instead of like a 9. So I would say give me the Royals in this spot, but man, it's just really kind of a coin flip. But I do like the bet that we have under the best bets. All right, Astros, Reds. What a monster series. Julian Aguilar on the mound for the Reds, trying to make a run. Going up against Justin Verlander. Verlander's got a 3.77 away ERA. He's had 2 games back from injury, so 10 innings in total, 11 hits, 6 earned runs, 9 Ks. Not great. Not great by Verlander standards, but guy's like 42. So give him a little break there. If we look at Aguilar, last start versus Oakland, whew, that was bad. That was real bad. 4 innings, 10 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 K. Reds ended up winning that game. They were down 6-1 and came back and won. Wild little game there. If we look at Aguilar, 17 earned runs in 3 starts. 2 of those have been away. One of them was against Toronto. He pitched pretty good. The other one, I can't remember who the opponent was. It was okay. And then the Oakland, he got absolutely shelled. So I like the Astros to bop some baseballs today. It's going to be beautiful weather at GABP. It's going to be very pleasant, about 80 degrees, low humidity. So I like over 9. I think that's a possibility for sure. Yesterday, I posted it in the comments. Hopefully everybody saw it, but I saw the Milwaukee lineup and changed my pick to the Reds instead of taking the over. Just went Reds money line. It was just a bad lineup that the Milwaukee Brewers rolled out. So I'm kind of curious what the Astros will do today. Just came off a big series. I almost feel like they might throw a pretty crappy lineup out here today. This is almost going to be treated like a rest day. So I want to see what it looks like, but I just don't see a path to the Reds here with Aguilar on the hill. They still have bullpen issues. No. All right, Tigers, Padres. If Ty Madden's going, if Ty Madden goes, we should see Kenta Maeda. That's kind of my thought process here. We haven't seen Maeda pitch in a while, so there's really no path other than take the Padres. Musgrove has been outstanding. He has been striking guys out left and right, not a lot of earned runs. Ty Madden, very new, is going to give up some runs against this Padres team. So no path to take the Tigers here, in my opinion. I know they're playing well, 8-2 over their last 10 games, but man, it's just this pitcher's should put them in quite a disadvantage. Maybe like a Padres first 5 would be a way to go to. You don't necessarily trust their bats completely. All right, Twins, Rays, Simeon Woods, Richardson on the mound, Zach Littell on the other side. Littell's been super solid at home. Guy's been an absolute stud in Tropicana. Get him outside of there, it's a whole different story. But does pitch well at home. His one issue is he's given up about a 300 average to lefties over the last couple of starts. So he did have some struggles with the lefties. The Twins are going to be loading the box with lefties, so they're going to have 7. Littell's missed his last 2 starts due to injury. So coming back today, prior to that, he had 3 earned runs in his last 4 home starts. So like I said, dude's good at home. I like the under 8. Twins bats have just been kind of up and down, hot or cold. Rays don't have super strong hitting as of late. I think for the Rays, they will win a game in this series. I feel fairly confident about that, but I don't think it's going to be with a righty on the hill. If we kind of look over the last 2 or 3 series, they've done really well against left-handed starting pitching. Like they've been a little sneaky against lefty starters. So I don't think SWR gets tagged up too much by this offense. However, I just don't know how much the Twins are going to score. So kind of a tricky one. I guess I'll go Twins with a lean towards that under 8. All right, Mariners, Athletics. Logan Gilbert, Osvaldo Bido. Yeah, Mariners being favored by this much, kind of crazy, actually. I don't love it. The sticks have gone kind of cold. Gilbert's been giving up earned runs, so it's not like he's been lights out. His K-prop is 7.5. It's just way too high. He's never had, in 10 games against Oakland, he's never had more than 6. So he's never even touched 7. So 7.5 is crazy high. I love the under there. Gilbert's got a 3.09 career ERA versus the A's in 10 games. Pitched against them June 5th, did pretty good. 5 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. But it's just more on the other side of the mound. Bido, dude's been lights out. He has 3 earned runs over his last 4 starts, averaging 5.5 Ks. I think he has a pretty good day. He should hopefully get to like 6 Ks and shut this offense down. The under 7.5 is favored. I just feel like the Athletics can hit Gilbert. I mean, you got guys like Rooker. I mean, Butler's been on an absolute tear. But Blade has been hitting really well. So you've got a lot of guys on the Athletics that are hitting well. I could see them getting to Gilbert. And then you just never know about the Mariners offense. We're starting to see them kind of on their ebbs and flows. So they were up here, and now they're starting to trend down. So I like to ride them when they're trending down. I would say the value's on the A's at plus 120. They're a very good home team. They do weird shit, and I like Bido on the mound. All right, Mets, Red Sox. Big series here for the Red Sox. I mean, real close to being out of it. So they got to start busting out some wins. They got Bram Bayo on the mound going up against Luis Severino. He's been really good lately. Bello in his last outing went, he almost pitched a complete game. I think they took him out in the 9th or before the 9th. I know he went 8 for sure. It was the longest outing of his career. Gave up like 2 hits against the Blue Jays. It was pretty damn good. He's only given up 7 earned runs in his last 4 starts. We already talked about no earned runs against Toronto. We look at Luis Severino, 9 earned runs in his last 4 games. He's had 1 home start in August, and that went all right. Gave up no earned runs to the Marlins, but the rest of his starts were away. So he is a much better home pitcher than he is away. That said, I like the Mets here simply because Bayo's coming off his longest outing of the year. I expect there's a little bit of fatigue. At this point in the year, you go a lot longer than you're used to. This guy's been kind of a 5-6 inning guy, and then he goes 8. I know pitch count wise it wasn't too bad, but I still think that's strain on the body. And I think at this time of the year, you kind of start to see that. So I look for him to maybe have a little bit of regression today. I think the Mets should get to him a little bit. And I think Severino does okay. Right? You never know with this series, though. So it's kind of a crazy series. But I would lean towards the Mets here. All right, next to last game on the card. Pirates, Cubs. I did not back the Cubbies yesterday. And boy, I should have. They absolutely shit on the Nats. So today you've got Jared Jones, Jamison Tyone. They just faced Jones last week and didn't go well for Jones. He went 4 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs. We do have the wind blowing in quite a bit. Both of these guys are fly ball pitchers. That said, the 7.5 runs, like the way that the Cubbies offense is rolling, and if the Pirates want to beat them, it's got to go over this. So I love over 7.5. It's probably one of my favorite plays today. The over in this and the over in the D-backs Dodgers. Like, should be real good. I also like the Nerfy in the first inning, though. So that's kind of weird. But I do like the Nerfy, but I don't think we're going to see this Cubbies offense slow down, man. They're the best hitting team against righties over the last 2 weeks, over the last 7 days. So screw it. I guess we'll just ride the train till it ends. 9-1. We'll see. I just don't think the Pirates are going to be the ones to bring them down. All right, final game on the card. Yankees, Rangers. I didn't put a ton of notes on here. Cole has been pitching really well as of late. He gave up a couple of home runs in his last start against the Nats and ended up losing. So he gave up 3 earned runs. 2 of those were homers. 1 just cleared by a cunt hair. So I don't even know if you say that on YouTube, but I did. That just happened. Yeah, it was really barely got over. So Jack Leiter has been terrible. Dude's got a 13 ERA. That said, I think this kid's going to be really good. He's got to learn how to pitch in the majors. So he's trying to get a little too cute. If you've watched his games, he's just trying to hit corners and he's just throwing balls. So putting himself in bad spots, getting guys on base with walks, and then giving up, bases clearing doubles and just kind of stuff like that. So beautiful get right spot for the Yankees. I guess I'm an idiot, but you got to back them here. I see zero value in taking the Rangers here. Offensively, they've been abysmal. They're very sporadic. That said, so are the Yankees. But really, really good spot here against a fairly bad pitcher. I mean, pitch splits are through the roof. Leiter's given up a 500 average to lefties, only 200 to righties, but he's only striking out like 18% of them. So everything here just kind of really bodes well for the Yankees here. The only concerning for me for Cole is against righties. It's given up like a 310 average. So you could look at maybe a guy like Seamer or something for like a home run prop today. Go along those lines. I wouldn't necessarily go, the huge for the Rangers. So yeah, I just don't see a way to not take the Yankees here in this spot. All right, pitcher sheet. I actually did it today. I completed it. I know usually I post it on Twitter, which I will today, but also completed it for you guys. But if you're not, make sure you follow me on Twitter. That way you can see this completed every day. But feel pretty good about this one. I'm sure there'll be some surprises, but like where it's at there. So if you want, you can just pause this and review. But let's get into our best bets. All right, best bets today. Like I said, Dodgers, Arizona, over 8.5. I love that. We've got history that shows there should be some runs with the pitching and just looking over this whole series. So over 8.5 at -122. Houston, Cincinnati, over 9 at -125. Like I said, the only thing on this is I want to see who Houston rolls out. So if they do the same thing the Brewers did yesterday, which I have a weird feeling they might, this would be one I'll probably just remove from the card, to be honest. All right, next game, Pittsburgh and Chicago over 7.5. I like that one a lot. That's just at -102. I know the wind's blowing in, but I just see a lot of runs being scored in that game. Yankees run line, just value play on Garrett Cole pitching well, Leiter in his 13 ERA. Houston first 5 -0.5. Again, this one's dependent upon the lineup. I want to make sure that there's a decent line out there. Make sure they're not sitting a ton of starters. And then bet I really like is Cleveland and Kansas City, both teams 3+ runs. So they both have to score 3 runs, and that's -105. So I like that a lot. If you look at the team totals for both, it's 3.5, and they're both favored. I think it's like -140, -135. So we're just taking both teams to score 3. Great value there. Parlays, Houston Yankees, Padres, plus 278. Dodgers, Mets, Cubs, plus 419. You can see the fun parlay and our upset parlay. We're just going to keep it to 2 teams. I like the A's and I like the Cardinals today. So keep it real tight and we get plus 439 on those. Prop leans, I like Gilbert under 7.5 Ks. Like I said, he has not struck out more than 6 against the A's, so he's never hit 7, let alone 8. So I like the value there. Flaherty over 5.5 Ks at minus 120. I do think the bullpen isn't necessarily direly taxed, but I do think we'll see him get stretched out a little bit today and go for a while. Severino under 6.5 Ks at minus 160. His K prop's usually at 4.5, maybe 5.5 on occasion. 7's just a bit too high for him. Jared Jones over 1.5 earned runs. I love this with the way the Cubbies are hitting. Really hard to imagine he doesn't give less than 2 earned runs. Aguilar over 2.5 earned runs. Again, just to play on him not being a very good pitcher and the Astros hitting the crap out of the baseball now. And then give me Lindor over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Just too much value there at minus 135. Pretty easy. Give me Aaron Judge to record an RBI at minus 105. I love this. And then give me Spencer Steer for the Reds to record an RBI at plus 175. So just 2 RBI props I thought stood out that very, very feasible and hittable. Nerfies I like today. There's 4 of them on the card. So we got the Cards and the Brewers, the Twins and the Rays, Mariners, Athletics, and Pirates and the Cubbies. So other leans I was looking at was the Twins, Rays under 8, which might add that to the card. Probably makes it at some point. And then Dodgers first 5 teams total over 2.5. So I do think they get to Eduardo Rodriguez pretty early. College football game, only game we got today. So we got Boston College, Florida State. I like under 50. That's really just kind of a safest play on the board in my opinion. You've got Boston College, obviously they've got some new coach, new defensive coordinator. Just I don't know, a lot of variables there. I don't know a lot of them. I just don't think they're going to be great. Florida State, I didn't like the way they looked in Dublin. I think they'll probably come out a little bit better today, but that run game's terrible. What did they average? Like 2.4 yards a carry. I just didn't like the way the line looked. They were getting pressured a lot. Not a fan of their quarterback, like a 5th-year transfer. So, just not a fan. So I do think that they cover. I mean, gun to my head, I think they probably do cover the spread, but I'd rather just take the under 50 and call it a day there. I just can see them struggling again this week. But that said, Boston College, real bad track record against this team. It's been long time since they've covered. So historically speaking, should go well for FSU. But, man, a lot of sloppiness in Dublin. So I need to see them clean that up a little bit before I get some confidence around that. But appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It's free. Helps me out a lot. That's good. So make sure you do that. Give the video a thumbs up. We'll be back on a normal time frame tomorrow. Just needed to take some extra time to let the hangover seep in. So catch you guys in the video tomorrow.